What is up, my friends? Now we're recording. Okay. We're recording, bro. Man, I can like very clearly see the face in this, but there's been something about it that's been like making it hard for me, man. You know, I just went through the most difficult health scare of my entire life. But yeah, the paramedics were here and they didn't take me. I was okay. I had stabilized by the time they got there, but it was really terrifying. I woke up in the middle of the night. I had this rushing feeling like I was moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour. No matter what I would do, it would just get worse. Then I started walking over to my wife's room. We sleep in different rooms right now because she sleeps with the baby, and I don't. So I was walking in there, and I started going into shock. So basically, if you've never been in shock, it's like you get incredibly cold, but like you dump sweat like crazy, and your body just starts jackhammering, shivering, and then your body starts pulling in blood into its core to protect itself, and so then your limbs go numb, your arms and your legs, and things start, it's harder to breathe, and things start kind of closing in, and man, I wasn't sure that I was going to live. Like I had, some words to say to my wife that felt, I was trying not to go there in my head, so I didn't dwell on it too much, but felt like I was saying my last words to my wife, man, and that was really hard. And that's given me a huge perspective change, and I've been approaching things very differently. In terms of like what's important, what's not important, what I want to do, how I want to do it. And I use oil paints like a lot of other artists. I love their texture. I love the depth of the colors. I love how they blend and how they layer. You can work them even a couple days afterwards, but you know what I don't love is everything else. I hate the texture on my fingers and the cleanup, but it's hard to talk shit about them when I got them right on my brush right here. It's my first time painting since that medical incident. I'm just gonna try and outline what I see here and then work it down from there. I think this face is pretty obvious. I think most people would see this one. Oh yeah, look at that, it's beautiful. I'm part of this group called the Mountain Artists, and I've been struggling thinking about those guys a lot lately. So they're this local group full of artists of all different kinds, and they do all sorts of different stuff. They do everything from woodworking to music to photography, painting. But I'm the only abstract one. I think there's other people who have done abstract pieces and who occasionally do, but I'm the only one who approaches it in the way that I approach it, in the sense of like non-traditional training, just kind of painting from the gut. And so I haven't really been engaging with those guys because, to be honest, they didn't really get a whole lot of support when I had my solo show. And in fact, I felt some weirdness from some people. And so I've kind of backed away from them since November, really. The end of November, beginning of December. But I've been feeling bad about that because there's also a lot of really great people. There's this guy, Frank Glass. He's a local painter. He's been doing it since he was a kid. He was him and one other guy, I can't remember his name, the only people who really sat and talked to me during my show. Everybody else just talked to each other, and a lot of people just kind of blazed past my artwork, right, and went right into the back where they have their more traditional stuff, landscapes and photography. A lot of what you'd expect to find in a mountain gallery. And that's great. It's just, I just don't know how much I belong there. Just tough because this is where I live. And there's not another option. There's not another artist group for abstract. And yeah, so I've been trying to, it's not really trying, I've been wanting to meet new artists, like, who approach things in a similar way, and maybe not even approach it in a similar way, but just some people who are a little bit more on my wavelength. Wow. You know, I honestly don't know that much more needs to be done to this piece. There's a ethereal quality about it. That face is just kind of just barely emerging in the best way. Let me just sit with this for a little bit before I make any adjustments at all. I really like this. I mean, it's like scary, like it's like a dark painting. But honestly, man, that's kind of fitting. I just went through a dark time, and this was actually the painting that I was working on the night that all the medical stuff happened. And you know, honestly, looking back on it, I think it's just an exhaustion thing. Like my body couldn't keep up with my mind. And interestingly, I noticed like the more I'm pushing, the more weed I smoke. I hit an all-time high with that. I smoked a whole ounce in a day by myself through a bomb, like a couple days before all this happened. It wasn't the same day, so it wasn't caused by the weed, but I don't think it's a coincidence that I hit an all-time high shortly before all this happened. I kind of love this piece, but it also feels undone. Isn't that a tough place to be in? I'm putting words to everything. It's not that easy. Not that easy while you're painting to do that and focus. Give him a little neck. Make him feel like he's springing from the darkness. Can I do anything that would... I think it would fill in the teeth here. Can I do anything that would make it feel more like that night? That's what I'm asking myself right now. Bringing in that little bit of red through the blending with that brush is magnificent. It's a good idea to fill these teeth in. I like how they look. Brings more of a presence. Honestly, man, I think this piece is done. No, it's not. I think this is done. One thing I like to do is take a picture of it, share it with ChatGPT. And then when I take a picture and I share it, something in that process, it's not even what it says, it's what I think about what it says, or just what I think about it when I see the picture. It gives me a different perspective sometimes. Sometimes it just looks different on camera. Take a photo. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, maybe I push it a little bit lower. Let's share it. You know, I think I would like to bring a little bit more balance to the composition. The question is, how do I do that? So what I'm saying basically is that this piece feels to me similar to the one I completed the night of my solo exhibit. A perfect snapshot of a moment, yet maybe not my best technical work, but still needs to exist. That's a good point. ChatGPT was making a point about how... Let me sit down and I'll talk to you about it, because you can actually hear me now. So ChatGPT was making a good point about how this is kind of like another bookend to my work, in that it feels very similar to me, like the painting I did on the night of my solo exhibit, which you'd think would be a high point, but I didn't sell any work, and I put extreme amounts of effort into it. And given my solo exhibit was 6 months after I started painting, so I didn't put as much years into development as many people do on their first exhibits, but I did put as much effort, especially in the weeks leading up to it. And so I didn't sell anything at all, and I was really upset, and I really struggled with that. Because I felt like that moment might be what helped change things. You know, that would be sort of the moment that I started really making money from art and not a job. So stupid. So I took that really harshly, and I drove home
really recklessly, really fast, and it was dangerous, and it wasn't good. Came home, I punched a hole in my wall, I screamed and cried, and I was like mad at the world, man. Like I felt like I did everything and poured everything out, and it wasn't enough. But the truth is that it wasn't enough. As hard as that is to accept, it just wasn't, not at that point. You know, I still got a lot of years to go. I've still got a lot of things to do, to learn. But my point is, it was a really difficult night, and this is the painting that bookends that medical issue that I had from pushing myself too hard. And yeah, the paramedics, they were saying they think that they were like, because I guess by the time they got there, my vitals and everything was okay. So they said that everything looked okay to me, and I trusted them, so I didn't go to the hospital that night. And they thought maybe it was like a panic attack or something, or maybe like get checked for low iron or something. That's what they were recommending, is because I think at first their initial instinct was that it was a panic attack, but I was very calm while they were there. Like I wasn't panicking at all, and I wasn't feeling anxious. It was nothing like that. I was feeling anxious when it first happened. Like I woke up and like I said, everything was moving at like 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I had no idea what was happening to me. Because you wake up into that. Like there's, I don't think I can explain how disorienting it is to wake up into something you've never felt before. And so then I did a couple of things to try to get it to go away, and I talked to ChatGPT and tried to like figure out what was going on with me and what I can do. And yeah, that didn't work. That's when I went up to go hang out with my wife, and that's when everything got much worse. I was meeting many of the signs for needing to call an ambulance immediately, and so we did. And then they came, and there's nothing. It was very scary. Last night, like I kept myself up till 2 a.m. because I was scared to sleep. Like every time I laid in bed, and every time I would start to fall asleep, I'd wake myself back up. Like I'd just instinctively like bring myself back to consciousness, And that lasted from like at least midnight till 2 a.m. Like I said, I was just scared, man. I didn't want to go back to sleep because I didn't know if I would wake back up into another one of those things. And I cannot tell you how unpleasant that experience was, with everything moving that way. And it's just, there's no peace possible. Imagine the uncomfortability when you're very drunk and everything's spinning, and then multiply that by like 100 because it's moving fast, and it's not spinning. It's like moving forwards. It's like being on like a roller coaster ride. It's just like, it literally, the thing that occurred in my mind while I was thinking about it, like trying to describe it, was it felt like I could actually feel the movement of the earth. And I gotta stop talking about it because I'm gonna bring that back. But let me finish this up. Oh, also this week, I tore a tendon in my ring finger. It's like a 2nd-degree tear. It's not like, the tendon didn't fully snap, but it's like, partially torn through. And that sucks. Big pain. One thing that I put on almost all of my paintings is crow's feet and wrinkles. I wish I could tell you exactly why. I think my best guess is that I'm starting to get wrinkles and crow's feet myself. Starting to notice time on my face, you know what I'm saying? And it's a weird feeling, man. Seeing those gray hairs pop up like your old dog, you're not gonna live forever. Let me step back for a second. Yes, I think what we need to do here, I bet this shit lasts so long on the palette, I bet I could find the original green I used. Oh, you know what I didn't use? I put green right directly on the canvas. Then I used black. It's up a little bit. Let's look on. Here we go. It's like the suggestion of a neck, but not an actual, nothing to pollute your eye of the emotion in this piece. The eye that's struggling to open, to see, to just be. That eye that it wants so badly to open and see what's in front of it, but there's just something preventing it. It's almost got this force behind it, trying to open, but it's just not. And the weight of the blackness around it is just, it's crushing in on it while it tries to open up into it. This other eye that's completely missing, that maybe is an eye patch, maybe is a different type of structure, maybe it's missing, maybe it's part of the head that's gone, maybe it's just covered up, super cool Terminator style, but either way we can't see it. And that suggestion of the nose bridge, I've been working on this on that a lot. How do you suggest features? Because features are important for visual anchors, at least for me. But I never want, because I want to not be fully abstract, but the abstraction lends itself to feeling straight up emotion without focusing on form. And the question I'm trying to explore is, where's the line? Like, too much form feels kind of like a picture, like a photograph, an AI piece. I've seen incredible realist paintings that look like photographs, and I haven't seen one that really touched me, that really made me feel like I am looking at how that artist was feeling in that moment in time. Don't get me wrong, the work is incredibly impressive skill-wise, and I'm sure they have their own meanings behind their different paintings, but I just haven't had a gut punch, like I've had from a lot of different types of abstract work. And that's why I love abstract. It's because you can feel the moment without focusing too much on the perfection in lines and such. But what I want to know is, where does too much form become too much? Where can we, how can we blur these things together? How can we make something that has enough structure to be interesting, but not so much that it detracts from the emotionality of the piece? I hope that makes sense to you. This piece is done. It's done. Feels like the void's laughing at you when you're watching this. I used to refer to myself as Void for like a week. I thought it was a cool name. I also don't feel comfortable with my own name because I wasn't born with it. But the name I was born with is irrelevant at this point, so I have this weird struggle of like I don't feel connected to my name, but anything else I would call myself is just making something up, which doesn't feel right either. That's why, like, in my adult life, I've never named an animal. I got a cat. Yeah, I call her Kitty Cat. The other animals we got them from the shelter, and we just used the name from the shelter. This is done. I hope you guys like the piece. I really do.